the greatest things about each of the blades that you can get from Shivworks is that they have trainers available for you as well. Trainers that feel very realistic. In this video, we're going to be looking at 3 different models. We're going to be looking at the Disciple trainer, the El Nino trainer, and the Clinch Pick trainer. Stick around. Not every EDC fixed blade out there that people carries comes with a trainer. But I think they should. I think blades that are carried each day with the intent to use as self-defense should be blades that we should train with on a regular. And it's not always safe to train with a live blade. You can do some free flow drills, obviously, with a live blade if you feel comfortable doing that. But you obviously can't use a live blade in sparring, and you don't want to use a live blade on your bob. I do like to recommend to anyone who is serious about doing at-home knife training, especially if they have to do a lot by themselves, is to get a bob. It just gives you a target. It just gives you something with a sturdy feel to it, something you can strike, something you can maneuver around and kind of set your sights upon. First, I want to take a look at the Disciple trainer now. The Disciple is the OG Shivworks knife. It's their first blade. It's a reverse edge knife, and here is the trainer. This is my favorite position to wear the Disciple in. Hooked around the belt, inside the waistband, can cover it up very easily, can access it very easily. One very important drill you can do with your Disciple trainer is just clearing the garment. Just do it over and over again. Clearing the garment, pulling it. Also as well, learning to clear the garment and draw in the ice pick position. This video doesn't include any sparring with another individual, but I do like to work out downstairs with my bob and just practice pulling and putting together some combinations and just learning to flow with it. A reverse edge is a different approach, and it does require some training in my opinion. There are different scenarios in your mind that may drive what type of training drills you like to do. Sometimes it's a simple quick hit defense drill. Sometimes it might be a type of counter ambush drill. As a rule of thumb, we don't get into knife fights. The only time you fight somebody else with a knife is if there's no other option. People say no one wins in a knife fight, and I get that, and I agree with that for the most part. But if you have somebody highly trained with a knife and somebody who does not know what they're doing at all, that statement's not always true. A lot of the drills that I do on bob are self-defense drills, but they're also hit the fan, counter ambush type of things where you have to make a very solid attack and you have to make it count really quick. There's also the Clinch Pick trainer. The Clinch Pick is a very popular EDC knife. A lot of people carry this, and this is a different kind of blade. This is not necessarily a fighting knife. You can do a lot of the same drills that I did with the Disciple. This is a get off me, stay off me kind of knife. It allows you to pull this in very close quarters and pierce to get people off of you if you're trapped in a very, very tight clinch type of situation. But there's one thing I want to point out with how to hold these. You don't ever want to hold your Clinch Pick this way. A lot of people will grab their Clinch Pick and they'll hold it like this. You're asking for an injury. It's the same with the Disciple. What we want to do is we want our hand to come around. When you hold your Clinch Pick, you want your hand to come around this way. You don't want to be bracing your thumb here. You want to wrap your hands around it, because the Clinch Pick and the Disciple are point-driven systems. You're going to be able to pierce and you're going to be able to pull in your line of thrust with really strong back muscles. You're not using your thumb here as a brace. You're going to get cut if you do that. You want to wrap your hand around the Clinch Pick. Your hand meets just like this. It's the same with the Disciple. There is the Clinch Pick 2.0 black double edge that may require a little less training because it's a double edge knife. It's going to be easier to do everything with. But in a lot of areas, you can't carry that and you're stuck with a single edge, which is going to require more training. Practicing pulling the knife and learning how to flow with it is so important. Now, last but not least in the video is the El Nino trainer. Now, I did review the El Nino a couple of months ago, and I did do a lot of talk on the training in the initial review. Something like this right here requires the least amount of training. Nevertheless, there's a lot of things you can train. If you're going to buy an El Nino, it's worth it to spend the extra money to get the Omni sheath with this clip, because you can hook this thing so conveniently to pockets. You can wear this kind of stuff with like workout pants for the ladies, yoga pants. This is just one of those that you can take with you when you don't have pockets, especially. I will oftentimes carry mine on a pair of hiking shorts with no pockets, and I use this particular blade, I use this sheath, and it just clips right onto the shorts. So how might one train with the El Nino? Well, again, practicing clearing the garment and pulling your weapon. Now, one thing to think about with the El Nino is you have an edge here on the regular side, as well as your point. And as you may already know, double edge push knives are not legal everywhere. So the cool thing about the El Nino is that it's a long push knife, a good point and a good edge. So the thing about the El Nino is if you can punch, you can use it. You can do hooks. If you can punch, you can fight with this blade. I keep mine inside the waistband on the front, but sometimes you may not be able to clear the garment, especially if he's coming to you. You can practice pushing off and leaning and being able to come in with the attack, whatever you come in with, but just practicing, if anything, getting back, pulling, getting in position. Not only is this useful for being an extension of your punch, but you also have the slicing edge where you can pierce and slice. You just have the ability to flow in very unique ways with this. There are different points of view on how these things should be used and how you should flow with them. But the main thing is, if you carry a Shivworks knife, it's really cool to get a trainer and work with it as often as you can. I hope you've enjoyed the video, my friend. If you carry Shivworks knives, pick up the trainer and just train as often as you can at home. Get used to flowing with your blade. It will really come in handy if you find yourself in one of those unfortunate situations. Thanks for watching. Take care.